Welcome to an in-depth exploration of the architecture of the unseen, a journey into the complex history of the biblical canon and its hidden texts. This report, commissioned for Church Toyama, delves into the divergence between the Septuagint and the Masoretic text and the systematic exclusion of books like Enoch and Jubilees. These excluded texts, preserved notably in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, offer a different perspective on the biblical narrative. The removal of these texts wasn't just administrative. It fundamentally shifted the Western Christian worldview, leading to a demythologization of the cosmos. This shift replaced a cosmos inhabited by watchers, Nephilim, and spirits of giants with a more philosophical, sterilized theology. Reintegrating these texts provides a framework for understanding modern phenomena like unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, and the nature of demonic entities. It interprets these through the lens of the ancient divine council worldview, offering a richer understanding of spiritual realities. To grasp why books like Enoch and Jubilees were removed, we must first examine the historical battlefield upon which the Bible was assembled. The modern Protestant Bible, often seen as a static artifact, is actually the result of centuries of struggle between conflicting textual traditions. Primarily, this struggle was between the Septuagint, abbreviated as LXX, and the Masoretic text, or MT. The Septuagint represents the oldest Greek translation of the Hebrew Scriptures, commissioned in Alexandria during the 3rd and 2nd centuries BCE. It was the functional Bible of the early Christian Church, with New Testament authors overwhelmingly quoting from the LXX. Statistical analysis shows approximately 81% of Old Testament quotations in the New Testament aligned with the Septuagint. This highlights that the theological arguments of the apostles were built upon the specific phrasings and broader canon of the Septuagint, including books like 1 Enoch. In contrast, the Masoretic text is the authoritative Hebrew and Aramaic text for Rabbinic Judaism, finalized much later between the 6th and 10th centuries CE. Its consolidation was partly a reaction against the rise of Christianity and its use of the Septuagint to prove Jesus was the Messiah. Jewish authorities began to distance themselves from Greek translations and their associated canon, leading to a more unified standard. The differences between the Septuagint and the Masoretic text are not just linguistic. They are profoundly theological, affecting how the unseen realm is understood. One critical divergence is in Deuteronomy 32, verse 43, part of the Song of Moses. The Masoretic text is shorter, while the Septuagint includes the line, "Rejoice, ye heavens, with him, and let all the angels of God worship him." The Dead Sea Scrolls vindicated the Septuagint, containing the phrase Bene Elohim, or sons of God, bowing to him, which the MT had altered. This removal obscured the divine council worldview, where Yahweh presides over an assembly of lesser divine beings. Another example is Genesis 4, verse 8, where the Masoretic text sentence, "And Cain said to Abel his brother," is grammatically incomplete. The Septuagint, supported by other ancient versions, preserves the dialogue, "And Cain said to Abel his brother, let us go out to the field." This suggests textual corruption or scribal omission in the MT that the LXX preserved. The Septuagint version of Jeremiah is also approximately 1/8 shorter than the Masoretic version and arranges chapters differently. Again, the Dead Sea Scrolls revealed Hebrew manuscripts matching the shorter Septuagint version, proving its faithful rendering of an ancient tradition. The consolidation of the Western canon, leading to the narrower 66-book Protestant canon, was a process of attrition. This was driven by the need for standardization and the fight against heresy. The Council of Laodicea, around 363 to 364 CE, is infamous for Canon 60, which omits the Apocrypha and Pseudepigrapha, including Enoch. This council represents a turning point where the Church began to institutionalize a restricted list of scriptures. Athanasius, in his 39th Festal Letter of 367 CE, provided the first extant list of the 27 New Testament books we accept today. He made a sharp threefold distinction: canonical, readable, and apocryphal, explicitly attacking books like Enoch as inventions of heretics. Athanasius's goal was to secure the Nicene definitions of Christ, removing ammunition for speculative Christologies from esoteric texts. Jerome, commissioned by Pope Damasus I, produced the Latin Vulgate, translating the Old Testament directly from Hebrew. He championed Hebraica Veritas, arguing that books not found in the Hebrew Bible should not be canonical scripture. Consequently, he relegated books like Enoch and Jubilees to the status of apocrypha for reading but not for doctrine. Jerome's insistence laid the groundwork for Protestant reformers like Luther and Calvin to reject the Deuterocanon entirely. The exclusion of 1 Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher was not just about book length. It was a targeted removal of dangerous knowledge. These books offered a high-resolution view of the supernatural world that the consolidating church found increasingly uncomfortable. The Book of Enoch, for instance, details visions of angels, the Watcher's sin with women producing giants, and the origins of demons. It portrays hybrid technology, with women taught metallurgy and sorcery, and demons as the disembodied spirits of these giants. The Nephilim, the giant offspring of the Watchers, are presented as genetic hybrids, linking ancient narratives to modern concepts. This research suggests that the exclusion of these books created a truncated Bible, stripping away realities of biological and spiritual warfare. The Ethiopian canon, however, preserved these realities, offering a holistic worldview that connects ancient angelology and demonology to modern phenomena like UAPs. Understanding this architecture of the unseen urges us to recover an association worldview, linking these ancient texts to our contemporary understanding of spiritual warfare and the unseen. Please leave a comment and subscribe to Church Toyama. Join the conversation.